The Chiefs are finally getting an important player back on offense, and he's set to make his debut against the Texans. This isn't just great news for their playoff chances. It could make a big difference in this game, too. The Texans' defense has some habits that the Chiefs can take advantage of, and I'll explain why this could help Mahomes and the team. I'll also go over key injuries and players to watch on both sides. But first, let's talk about what's at stake. With the Chiefs facing the Texans this Saturday, it's clear they're going all in to win. They're focused on securing the top playoff seed, even though Mahomes is dealing with an ankle issue. That's a bold move, considering they're in the middle of playing 3 games in just 11 days. They've already won the first of these games, and now it's time to handle the Texans. So yeah, the Texans are a strange team, very up and down. Still, they deserve some credit for being 9-5 and winning the AFC South for the second year in a row. Quarterback C.J. Stroud has had a rougher season this year. With teams studying his game film, he's thrown more interceptions and been sacked 45 times because of a weak offensive line. The Texans' weak spot is the middle of their line, while the Chiefs' struggles have mostly been at tackle. On the flip side, the Texans' star left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, has been both a strength and a problem. He's a top player, but he's also been flagged for penalties 15 times this season, the most in the NFL. For comparison, the Chiefs' Jawan Taylor has 11 penalties, so Chiefs fans know a bit about that frustration. The another player to keep an eye on is Tank Dell. He's smaller compared to Nico, but when Nico was out, Stroud relied on him a lot. For example, just 3 games ago, Dell had 3 catches for 72 yards. Then there's Dalton Schultz, their top receiving tight end. He got banged up in the Dolphins game but managed to finish and isn't on this week's injury report. For the Chiefs, there are questions in the secondary. With Shamari Connor likely out due to concussion protocol, it'll be interesting to see how they adjust. Will Trent McDuffie shadow Nico all game? And who will step in for Connor? That's something to watch. Another big weapon for Houston is running back Joe Mixon. He's having a great season with over 900 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns on the ground, and another 277 yards plus a touchdown in the air. But the Chiefs' run defense is one of the best, top 5 in most categories and 3rd in rushing yards allowed per game. That might force the Texans to rely on the passing game, so keep an eye on Mixon catching passes, especially if he's matched against a linebacker like Nick Bolton. On the Chiefs' defense, one key player to watch is Charles Omenihu. His impact on the defensive line has been huge, especially on 3rd downs and clear passing situations. He's been a difference maker, and that'll be important in this game. Here's the rewritten version of the 3rd section, with simple language and an engaging tone. However, the Chiefs have struggled at times this season, giving up a lot of big plays on 3rd and long. That makes this matchup interesting. Can the Texans complete passes on 3rd down against a Chiefs defense that has allowed more long gains this year than usual? The Texans' interior offensive line has been weak, and this is where Chris Jones comes in. He's the best defensive tackle in the NFL, and he's likely to cause major problems. With Jones dominating the middle, the Chiefs' edge rushers will have more chances to attack. Don't forget, the Chiefs are coming off a huge game against the Browns, where they racked up 5 sacks. Charles Omenihu made big plays, and George Karlaftis added a couple of sacks himself. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud has had a rough time with protection, being sacked 4 or more times in 7 games this season. Overall, the Texans' offense is just average. They score 23.4 points per game, rank 19th in 3rd down conversions, and are 19th in yards per game. But here's the key stat. C.J. Stroud ranks 31st out of 32 quarterbacks in efficiency against the blitz. Meanwhile, the Chiefs blitz more than almost any team in the league, second only to the Vikings, with a blitz rate of 33.4%. This sets the stage for Spags to have a great game plan. With the Chiefs' aggressive defense and the Texans' struggles against the blitz, it looks like the Texans' offense could have a tough time on Sunday. Let's talk about the Texans' defense, which has been the backbone of their team this season. They match up well against the Chiefs' offense, but Casey has a key player returning who could make a big difference in this game. Before diving deeper, here's a quick shout-out to today's sponsor, Good Chop. If you want customizable boxes of high-quality meat and seafood delivered straight to your door, Good Chop is for you. Their products are vacuum sealed, flash frozen for peak freshness, and sourced from American farms and fisheries. With over 80 cuts to choose from, they make meal prep easy and save you time and money. My family loves Good Chop. We've been using it for over a year, and it's never let us down. Recently, we made some amazing nachos with their ground beef, enjoyed boneless wings for a weekend party, and cooked up Atlantic salmon after a game. It was delicious. Their ribeye steaks are perfect on the grill, and the thick-cut bacon is my daughter's favorite every time. Good for now, back to football. Yesterday, I went into detail about their defensive line, but overall this unit is tough and will definitely challenge the Chiefs' offense on Sunday. The Texans' defense is packed with talent, and it starts with cornerback Derek Stingley Jr., one of the best in the league. Safety Jimmy Ward is also playing at a high level, and let's not forget Caney Bullock, who, like Stingley, has 5 interceptions this season. This defense thrives on takeaways. They're second in the league in total takeaways and interceptions, with 19 picks so far. They've been tough to score on, too. The Texans have the 9th best scoring defense, allowing just 21.4 points per game. They're 3rd in yards per play allowed, 11th in rushing yards per play, and 2nd in the league for fewest rushing touchdowns allowed per game. Their pass defense is even better. They rank 1st in completion percentage allowed, 6th in passing yards per game, and 3rd in yards per pass allowed. They're also excellent on 3rd downs, ranking 4th in the league. The Texans love playing man coverage, relying on their elite pass rush to disrupt quarterbacks. And their pass rush is no joke. They're 2nd in the league in sacks and top 10 in pressures, even though they blitz less than half of the NFL teams. Danielle Hunter leads the way with 12 sacks, and Will Anderson Jr. isn't far behind with 10.5. Another interesting stat: the Texans' defense is the best in the league at defending tight ends. They allow the least success against tight end targets and rank 3rd in efficiency against tight ends on passing downs. But the Texans aren't perfect. They struggle in the red zone, allowing touchdowns 64.7% of the time when opponents get inside the 20-yard line. That's 28th in the league. On the flip side, the Chiefs' offense hasn't been great in the red zone either, scoring touchdowns only 50.9% of the time, ranking 26th. If the Chiefs can turn red zone opportunities into touchdowns instead of field goals, it could be a game changer. The Texans' strategy is simple: trust their pass rush to pressure the quarterback and lock down receivers in man coverage. The Chiefs, however, have had issues protecting Mahomes this season. Their offensive line has struggled, especially at the left tackle spot, and Mahomes has been knocked down more than any quarterback in the NFL. He's also been sacked a career-high number of times this year. Mahomes might not be at 100% because of his ankle, but he's still great at scrambling. In fact, he's 2nd in scramble yards against man coverage this season, and 11 of those scrambles have resulted in first downs. So it'll be interesting to see how mobile Mahomes is in this game. Can he take advantage of the Texans' tendency to play man coverage? Now let's talk about Hollywood Brown's return. If Mahomes' mobility is limited and the Texans stick to man coverage, this matchup could get tough for the Texans. Why? Because Juju Smith-Schuster and Travis Kelce perform really well against zone defenses, and while DeAndre Hopkins can handle both, he isn't great at creating separation against man coverage. That's where Hollywood Brown comes in. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN reported that the Chiefs plan to activate Hollywood Brown for Saturday's game against Houston, as long as everything keeps going well this week. Hollywood has been practicing all week and looks ready to make his season debut. Even if Brown doesn't play a full game after being out all season, his presence will boost the offense. He's known for being strong against man coverage, which is exactly why the Chiefs brought him to Kansas City. It's been a while since we've seen him in action, but his return could make a big difference. In 2021, Hollywood Brown had almost 400 yards after the catch during his breakout season with the Ravens. Now, the Chiefs are getting back a speedy player who can beat man coverage and has a solid route tree. His return will also create better matchups for players like Kelce, D-Hop, and maybe even Xavier Worthy. Worthy has been more than just a deep threat lately. He led the team in targets last week and has been averaging about 5 catches for around 50 yards per game over the past 5 games. He also had 3 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown last week, though let's be honest, one of those was a receiving touchdown on a 21-yard catch. Either way, they're finding more ways to get Worthy involved, and Hollywood's return will only help him. The Chiefs should put Hollywood Brown on the field during key situations, like third downs and in the red zone, and just let him work. Even if they don't plan to target him at times, he can be a speedy decoy. Remember, he's coming back from a sternoclavicular dislocation, which required surgery, but his lower body is fine, so he can run and move as needed. This is why I believe the Chiefs are going all in to get the top seed. Mahomes is playing, Hollywood is expected to play, and Joe Thuney is back at left tackle. If the Chiefs win this Saturday and again on Christmas, they'll lock in the #1 seed. It could even happen this weekend if the Chiefs win and the Bills lose to the struggling Patriots on Sunday, though that seems unlikely. If the Chiefs secure the top seed after beating the Texans, they'll have 10 days off before facing the Steelers. This means they'll be well rested heading into their Week 18 matchup against Denver on January 5th. They could even rest key players during that game, giving them more rest before the playoffs. The divisional round wouldn't be until January 18th or 19th, which is the most ideal situation for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are currently favored by about 3 to 8 points, and with Mahomes looking to start, I expect them to win at Arrowhead. They have home field advantage, and while the Texans' defense is strong, the Chiefs' defense is going to have a big day. They'll take advantage of the Texans' weaker interior offensive line and the struggles of their quarterback, Stroud, against the blitz. Chris Jones, Carl Lawson, and Minu are going to be a big problem for the Texans. Meanwhile, Joe Mixon, who isn't 100%, will be limited in the run game. If the Chiefs can at least slow down Nico Collins, though they probably won't stop him completely, then this will be a Chiefs win. I'm predicting a close game, with the Chiefs winning 20-17 in another nail-biter. Let me know your thoughts on the score prediction and how you think this game will play out, especially with the injury reports. Now, let's take a quick look at the injury report for this game. From the Chiefs' side, there aren't many surprises. Connor and DJ Humphries didn't practice all week, and both have been ruled out. Andy Reid mentioned there's a chance both could play against the Steelers on Christmas, but we'll worry about that later. For now, Hollywood Brown participated fully in practice all week, as did Creed Humphrey, Harrison Butker, Patrick Mahomes, and Jawan Taylor. What does this mean? Both Mahomes and Hollywood Brown are expected to play. We're just waiting for Hollywood to officially be added back to the 53-man roster. But since Mahomes has no game designation, he's definitely playing. He'll be the starting quarterback, and the Chiefs are going to push hard to win and secure the top seed. As I said before, sometimes resting later is better than resting now. Now, for the Texans' injuries, 4 players are ruled out. Funzo Fatukasi, the defensive tackle, is out with an ankle injury since he didn't practice all week. Receiver John Mathay is out with a shoulder injury, and Juice Scrubs, the offensive lineman, is out with a foot injury. Tight end C.A.D. Stover, who had an appendectomy recently, is also out. To sum it up, Mahomes is good to go, Hollywood is set to make his debut, and I'm excited to see him back on the field. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, let's go. How about those Chiefs?